up, guys? Time to show off a cool build. I did 3 builds last night for the event, plus I had a Kraken that I had built already. Swapping out the ones I currently have available and doing these, and then over time I'll just kind of merge them together. So wanted to get a couple different looks in there. So this one is the Piranha build. This is the fully cerakoted build. You've got a black cerakoted 650 or 670 case. This was a polished silver case, so now we've got it done in a nice black. You have a brass Piranha dial that I put in brass ager, let it get real dark, and then I brush sanded it with a Scotch Brite. So a little pro tip. The reason I did it that way is with sandpaper itself, it gets into it a little bit deeper and it will make this super bright. So as you can tell, the Piranha is brighter, but the grit and how that Scotch Brite's kind of set up, it kind of puts the nice lines through it, but it also gets some of the dark black out of the back. Now if I would have just sanded this flat on sandpaper, it would have only got the edge all the way around and the Piranha itself, and it would have kept the background super dark black, which I've done before and looks cool. But the dial itself and all the raised points keep it at that level where it's not getting into that, whereas a Scotch Brite's spongy and it's going to go down in there. So now you have that distressed kind of look where it stays dark around the Piranha itself and dark around the that exterior border here, but gets down into it. So gives it a nice, cool look. Did a set of new black hands, have not used this style before. And then these are actually drilled out and then backside lumed. So there is your pips going on around there. I did a coin in gold PVD, and I had a black yachtmaster style bezel insert. It's like kind of distressed. I didn't touch the thing, but it has like these little distresses in between, which kind of goes with the flow. So I'm cool with it. Happen to have a black anchor crown. Had a solid black caseback. This has an automatic movement in there. There's a signed rotor in there, a stainless steel movement holder. You just can't see it. So I thought, you know what? If I put a silver caseback back here, it just stands out a little too much. This I didn't really mind too much. Can actually show the break there. But and then I only have, I think I might have had 2 of these at one point. This is one I've put back for a very, very long time. This is a very super soft and thick Italian leather. Cool stitching up here. It's a non-stitch going up both sides, but then it's sealed throughout the side. So very, very, very soft. You will like the feel of this. And then I have a black cerakoted preview buckle. Go on the end. So that is the build. It came out pretty awesome. I don't do too many 650, 670 cases. It's a 20 millimeter case. It's still the same width, uses the same crowns as my other watches, but it has a 20 millimeter lug, so it kind of has a little bit cooler of a look to it. 9 times out of 10, if I buy a 670, which is a polished case, it has a movement in it that I normally use. But I, not anticipating having to cerakote, would prefer to buy the 650 version, which is the brushed version. The problem is the bulk of those come with a 24-hour movement in it. So I kind of want the movement that's in the polished version, but in the brushed case. So you don't see these too often. It's only the times when I can find a brushed one that happens to have a movement that I can use. Or if somebody happens to be getting rid of the case, if it's a polished case, I don't mind if it's torn up a little bit, because we will just sand it down, bead blast it, and I don't know who's calling me right now, but I'm not answering that. We can sand it down, bead blast it, and cerakote it. So you don't see these cases too often just because I don't buy these cases specifically to work forward and cerakote them. And at the same time, I normally use 22 millimeter because I have like 350 straps that I have for my different strap guys, and 99% of them, like that's probably the exact percentage, are 22 millimeter. So I'm just not really set up that much to do 20 millimeter. So it's a case that you're not going to see very often. I don't know if it will become a case I use more, depending on scarcity of things. But very cool build. You don't see too many in this case. I don't have any more of these straps. I might have had one before. I think I had one that had some orange, or I might still have one up there. But very cool. This is probably a year old. I've just never used it. It's very soft, very pliable. You will like this strap. And as with every build, you're going to get matching beads. I probably should go over the watch just a little bit. With the Cerakote, this makes this bezel extra tight. It is, it's just held on with a tension ring. It took me forever to get this thing snapped on because we Cerakoted this case back in the early days, and I just stumbled upon it in one of my boxes that was in the back. He probably Cerakoted this 3 or 4 times. It took me forever to get the bezel on here, and I think it's going to take, it would take a lot of pressure to get this bezel off. But it is on there nice and tight. You can turn it left, you can turn it right. It's held on with a tension ring. Automatic mechanical, as I mentioned, there's a rotor back here you just can't see. So all you've got to do is back off the ground till you hear it and feel it clicking. At that point, you can wind. And wind is a turn this way. Turning it towards you doesn't do anything, but it's a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and just go back and forth. If you do that for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, even if you're not very active, you will keep time throughout the day. And if you do it for something closer to 15-20 seconds, you're going to max out your 31-hour plus power reserve on it. That's what I do when I'm setting them like this should be the correct time, which means I'm late for watching football, and I still have 2 more videos to do, so that's cool. You can't overwind it, so don't worry about that. When you're happy with your winding, you're going to pull it to the 1 and only click, and you can now set your time. It does not have a hacking movement in it, so it's going to keep going. And you'll also notice you've got a wobble crown. This deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement, and it also does not transfer impact if dropped on the crown, and maybe not now, but once it's screwed in, the clutch system disengages and it doesn't transfer through your keyless works, into your keyless works or into your movement. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 12:25 p.m.
12:25 p.m. So I am late to watch things. When you're good, you're going to push it over, get it out of that time setting, and wind it down. So that is the build. As I mentioned before, matching beads. This is going to come in a black Piranha box. This will come with watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts, so everything here in the center, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue. And it will also come with a microfiber for that. I have my own microfibers coming in. Again, they're a little costly. If you recall them, if you are a person who's been with me for a long time, they were a nice gray color with my logo on them. I'm going to try and get a little bit darker of a gray and a logo on them. So for now, you're going to have these cool white ones until I get those in. I'm still going to be getting these brown ones because these go well with the fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's for your acrylic glass because you can scratch it, but if you do, you'll put a tiny bit of this on it and buff it out using this one that matches. Haze it, fill it, buff it in, remove it, and if it doesn't work, wait a little bit until that solidifies and keep building that scratch, filling that in. It's kind of like drywall mud. If you're back on it too quick, you are going to pull out what you put in. So just give it a little bit of time. And then skipped over this, but you've got your leather conditioner to keep this strap perfectly soft. If you ever feel it's not as soft, apply it on the front and the back. Remove any excess. A little bit will go a long way, and this will keep your strap perfectly soft. This is an Italian leather strap. It's almost kind of like a nice, it has like a suede feel to it, but it's not a fuzzy suede, if that makes sense to you. It just has some texture to it, and it's super soft. So it feels like, I don't know, not prickly, but if like you shaved an animal all the way down, where it's just like, oh, okay, it's just kind of fuzzy. So super nice, super comfy. It is that on the front and the back. So that is the build. If it's going to you, thank you so much for your support. I hope you like this Piranha watch. I thought it came out pretty awesome. I did one like this a while back that Sharif ended up getting as a mystery build. And the dial on that, I tried to do close to that dial, but not quite that same dial, because with that one I sanded with sandpaper, and this one I sanded with a Scotch-Brite. So got them close. You can never make them exactly the same, but I loved his so much, and his was in a different black case. I was like, I got to do something similar to that again. That came out so well. So and I had one more of those dials. So that's the build. If it's going to you, sorry for the long video. I really like this watch. I really like how it came together, and I appreciate your support. And if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe, as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.